I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright, the same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come, and I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Yeah, it's back to yet another video, and we are here to review part 2 of the Janet Jackson documentary. I just got done watching part 2 again, you know what I'm saying, just for this review, you feel me? And I had a great time. Very interesting. This is actually my second time watching part 2, other than the night it came out. And yeah, the documentary is 4 parts, and I'll be reviewing part 2 today. I have notes right here, you feel me? And I do my notes in marker. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. So, let's get to it. So, I'll be addressing, you know, key parts that really kind of spoke out to me, you feel me? I won't get through everything that was in that documentary, but I will do my best to get out what's really important to me. Okay, so in the beginning, we start out with the secret baby rumors, you feel me? And when we ended off, what's it called? The first part of the documentary, Janet divorced James DeBarge due to his substance abuse and other issues. You feel me? But after the divorce, there was actually a lot of secret baby rumors saying that Janet and James DeBarge had a secret child, and apparently there was a lot of rumors coming up about that, and she addresses it all. You feel me? There was a rumor that Brandy Jackson was actually Janet Jackson's daughter, but it turns out that was Janet's niece. You feel me? People said that Janet and James had the secret baby and let Janet's older sister take care of the baby, which was Reby. Of course, Reby said, no, that's not true. Janet was actually gaining weight around this time, but it was because she was taking birth control pills. And people kind of thought, oh, she's gaining weight, so she might be pregnant. So they're trying to put 2 and 2 together, but it didn't work out. So she addresses it all right here. She never had a secret child, you know what I'm saying? She comes out and says that, why would I keep a child away from their father? You feel me? That's horrible. So she addresses that, you know what I'm saying? Cut and dry. Next little bullet point I might add from the documentary was that Janet felt that Michael was changing after Thriller. Around the time after Thriller came out, Janet says that there was a... Alright, thank you! My food ready. Janet felt like that Michael was changing after the success he was having. For example, the example that she gave was that a lot of times when Michael would, of course, go in Janet's room, they'll have a discussion. But one time, Michael went in Janet's room just to sit down, and I guess he didn't really say a word to her. Just very odd. And he got up and just walked out. And he would kind of separate himself away from the family a little bit, I guess because of how busy he was and how successful he was. And it was, you know, Michael was just, you know, he was really becoming more independent away from his family at that time. There was an interview with Reby, and she was asked, when was the last time you saw Michael? And she was like a year ago, you feel me? It was a while ago. So Michael was really starting to change a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But Michael, you know, I've always heard rumors that he was trying to really distance himself from his family, because I heard there was a lot of issues with him and his family back in the day. But this isn't about Michael. This is about Janet. Janet wanted to make her own identity. This was the next part right here. So Janet really wanted to make her own identity. She felt like that so much stuff wasn't really going her way. It was always somebody else's way. You feel me? Whether it was her father, her advisors, her, you know what I'm saying? It was like the label. It's like Janet never felt like that she had her own kind of, you know, life. Felt like that she was always doing what other people wanted her to do and not what she really wanted deep inside. You know, this is like a good little chunk of the documentary of her really trying to break out of being Michael's little sister, of what people wanted her to do. She wanted to break out and be her own person and have literal control over her life and over her work. Because her last 2 albums, they wasn't really what she wanted to do. It was always what somebody else wanted. And they didn't really, kind of stick like that because, well, it wasn't really from her heart. In her mind. You feel me? It was always somebody else. So, Janet says that if she wants to make another album, she wants to make it her own identity. She wants to make her own identity. So, you know what I'm saying? We see Janet, or we hear about her firing her father as her manager, stepping away. And Janet was one of the only people in the family to really kind of stand up to Joseph. And Joseph always respected that growing up. That Janet was was very like standoffish. You feel me? Like she would not let anybody, right, just talk to her any kind of way. And I guess, that's what she did with Joseph. You feel me? Stood up to Joseph. You feel me? And Joseph always respected that. Yeah. So around the time after she kind of steps away from all that, she meets Jimmy Jam and Terry Lee Lewis at a concert, you feel me? Because Jimmy Jam and Terry Lee Lewis was a part of a group, you feel me? And Janet and Catherine were front row, and Jimmy Jam was and Terry Lee Lewis, they were kind of showing off for them, you feel me? How much they could grab their crotch in front of them. Yeah, that was interesting. We hear about that. And they have a little discussion, and I guess they meet up, and I guess they start to produce Janet's Control. You feel me? They have a discussion about producing Janet's work, and Control was the first album they produced from Janet. You know what I'm saying? Janet also gets Paula Abdul to do some choreography. You feel me? When it comes to, like, the Control era was a really, it was a really kind of Janet building era. Like, this is the era that really brought Janet out there. You feel me? And, you know what I'm saying? You love to see it. Yeah, so Janet really has control over her life, and it is really, really clear. A lot of people around Janet kind of sense that Janet has, an abundance over her career, over her life. Like, really has, like, really has it all, you know what I'm saying? Has it figured out. Without any help of anybody else, you feel me? She really has it, you know what I'm saying? She really knows what she want to do. And, you feel me? She has power and authority over herself. That's what she wanted. And you could tell. Because the magic was working, you feel me? When Control comes out, there is a lot of success from it. A lot of success. Like, she hit the 2 million album sold mark, you feel me? There was a party for her success, you feel me? Like, it was crazy, because it's like all she had to do was just step into her own light, assert dominance, and that's all she had to do. You feel me? She had a lot of success without help from her brothers. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what she wanted. She gains a lot of awards. You feel me? And around this time, she's starting to find love with Renee. Renee is the new guy at this point. I always heard of Renee, you know what I'm saying? I always knew about him, you know what I'm saying? But I never really knew about him like this, you feel me? I knew it was Janet's second husband, but I never really knew about him like that. You know what I'm saying? This documentary really gives us a lot of insight to who Renee really was. And they start to hit it off a lot. They really start to hit it off. They, in many different ways, we see them sharing so much love with each other. We see them, like, hit it off really. You could tell that they were really in love. And you could tell that people around Janet really see that she's really in love with him, that she really cares for him, that she really just has so much, love for him. Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We see so much. It's crazy. Renee ends up he ends up documenting the next decade of Janet Jackson's life, you feel me, with him. And honestly, that was amazing. I wish we could see more of that. Renee really helps Janet to grow as an artist, and we see a lot of that. We see like a lot of Renee really kind of coaching Janet on what to do and what not to do on certain things, you feel me? Giving her reassurance that, yo, we can really make this work. You know what I'm saying? We could really do this. You can see it happening. You know what I'm saying? I see that in you. And, basically he's just an amazing, at first, it seemed like just an amazing and supportive husband. And yeah, they hit it off and then they get married. So, and later on in the documentary, we see a lot of the start of Janet Jackson's kind of beginnings as an artist, like as a big artist. You feel me? Because after Control, it really helped her. It really helped her to put her on the map for real. You know what I'm saying? And we see her in interviews, and a lot of things that was surrounding her name was, of course, her brother, Michael Jackson. We see a lot of that. We see a lot of interviews that she has kind of turns into Michael a little bit, or kind of is always asked about Michael. You know what I'm saying? Because, well, she is Michael's little sister, you feel me? That's what a lot of people kind of knew her as. MJ kind of casted a huge shadow over her, and a lot of people can't really see her without having Michael Jackson included in some way, shape, or form. So, that would kind of frustrate her a little bit, because she always wanted to make her own name. She was tired of being compared to Michael. She was tired of having, she loves her family, but she doesn't want somebody to pick up her record because of her last name, She wanted somebody to pick up her record because it's genuinely a great record, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't want the stigma of Jackson, just toying around with her. Kind of toying around with her name a little bit, because that's what a lot of people seem to do. They seem to just be like, oh, this is Michael's little sister, to kind of play her a little bit. Like, oh, she's just Michael's little sister. She's no Michael. She's not this. That's not how she wanted to be, like, treated. She wanted to be treated as her own artist. So, one video in the documentary. Yeah, I'm kind of speeding past these because I don't really need to, like, harp on this too long, you feel me? But, yeah, I understand where she's coming from completely. She wants to be known as her own artist. So, in the next part of the documentary, we kind of see Jimmy Jam and Terry Lee Lewis, along with Janet, in the studio, and they're recording, songs for Rhythm Nation. And while we see her kind of recording a little bit, you know what I'm saying, it didn't go too well, her producers are just, they're kind of giving her some criticism, being like, yo, you sing, you can sing, put some more effort into it, put some more, power into your voice, stuff like that, you feel me? And Janet's like, okay, and Janet's like, da-da-da-da, she sings again, and then Jimmy Jam and Terry Lee Lewis, they kind of tell her off a little bit, like, yo, I know you can sing, put some more effort to the song, da-da-da-da, you know what I'm saying, all that. And Janet's like, man, da-da-da-da, you know what I'm saying, Janice was not having the attitude or whatever. So, she kind of breaks down a little bit, and she kind of starts crying. And that shows me, like, whoa, this is real, you know what I'm saying, this is for real, you feel me, like, this is some real stuff right here. Like, this is some stuff I would never really kind of expect to see, you feel me, Janet and in the studio time with them, and I just did not expect to see that footage, you feel me? That was some interesting footage. I never thought I'd see Janet break down in the studio like that. But they were always still happy with each other, her and her producers, Jimmy Jam, I'm tired of saying that names, bro. But yeah, they will always end up coming together in agreement. You feel me? Janet was always kind of stubborn a little bit, but they will always kind of come together in the end of things. You know what I'm saying? And they will always kind of work again the next day without a single problem, or like nothing happened the day before. You feel me? And they always made magic with each other. You feel me? I mean, look at Control, Rhythm Nation, and all the art, all the, albums that they made together. Yeah, they made some magic, so that definitely worked. We see Jimmy Jam holding up a notebook. You feel me? Holding up a notebook of Janet's songs that she was writing, and we would kind of see her writing different topics at the time, very socially conscious. And apparently the label was not really a big fan of that at first. They might have not really wanted Janet to make these kind of songs about these kind of topics. But they did anyway, and we saw how much of a big hit it was. You feel me? You didn't really see a lot of artists talk about what was going on in the world at the time, and Janet was kind of the main artist kind of doing that a little bit. Or at least that's what they said at the time. And we saw that. And yeah, she spoke about a lot of stuff that was going on in the world at the time. Rhythm Nation was a great album too. You feel me? You spoke, like, you could see a lot of different real topics were discussed in that album. A lot of different real topics, and a lot of that would definitely be related to now. You feel me? A lot of the stuff that was discussed in Rhythm Nation can be related to the times now. It's horrible now. It's even worse now, arguably. I mean, for real. We might have another world war in a little bit. Like, it's crazy out here. The label, I believe, wanted Janet to go on tour. But Janet's like, no, we got to make more songs before we go on tour or do anything like that. So, they start recording more songs, you feel me? And then, Janet goes on tour with Michael, sees Michael on tour, you feel me? We actually noticed a while back, in one of Michael's little specials, Michael Jackson's private home videos, we actually saw Janet in the background, you feel me? Kind of Janet with Catherine in the background singing The Way You Make Me Feel along with Michael when Michael's on stage and killing it, you feel me? And apparently, after Janet goes on tour with Michael or sits down for a few shows, it inspires her to what she was going to do on tour for herself. So, the Rhythm Nation tour begins, and apparently for the first night, there was like a few people clapping, and nobody really showed up, according to her. And that really shocked me when I heard that nobody showed up for the first day. For the first show, nobody showed up. Wow. Not that many people showed up. But apparently the second show, that's when everybody came. She saw all the cars lined up, all the headlights. And she was actually wondering at first, I wonder who they're going to see. You feel me? Because, nobody came the first night to see her. So who are they going to see the second night? But no, they was coming to see her. Yeah, it's crazy. And it was incredible, apparently. It was really incredible. I mean, Janet on stage was amazing. It was the biggest debut tour of all time, and no other artist has even come close to that. And that was my last bullet point of a good little rundown of part 2 of the documentary. And I say that was great. That was great. I wish we could have seen more of the music, you feel me, making. Like, what's it called? When we saw Janet clashing with the producers in the studio, I want to see more of that. I'm not gonna lie, that was interesting. Like, I want to see more of that, no cap. Like, honestly. But don't get me wrong, I'm satisfied with what we did get. But dang, bro, I would have loved to see more of the song making. You feel me? Like, when we saw Janet's notebook of one of the songs that she was writing, I wish we could have got more of the songwriting process for Janet. That would have been amazing. I wish we could have got more of the music aspect. You know, we got the success. We got the Michael's shadow kind of thing. We got the relationships. But dang, I want to see more of that music making. But I digress. Very excellent part 2. Very excellent lead up. You know what I'm saying? To part 1. It was great. It was great. The next part of the documentary, actually, I already kind of watched a little bit. Got the other notes of the part 3. We're going to be getting more of Poetic Justice. You know what I'm saying? Her movie. The cover, topless cover. Michael, more Michael, and yeah, other stuff. And we're going crazy. You guys are gonna see that. All right, excellent documentary, excellent part 2. I mean, like, I love Janet growing up, and to hear more about a lot of these things that are being addressed puts a smile on my face. I had an excellent time watching the documentary, and I cannot wait to tell y'all about part 3. 10 out of 10. I love it. I love this documentary. And hope y'all do too.